Barcelona, Bayern Munich fallout. The world at large is clamoring downright demanding a full-on blow-up and rebuild of the Barcelona squad following Friday's 8-2 embarrassment at the hands of Bayern. Part 1. Should Lionel Messi leave Barcelona? Will he? It's a fair request, not only for the UEFA Champions League quarterfinal defeat, but also for the last handful of years in which Barca became a shell of its former self and relinquished its claim to the title of best club in the world. The Barcelona rubble is strewn everywhere, from the Estadio de Luz in Lisbon, the site of Friday's demolition job, to the shores of Catalonia. The process of picking it all up and piecing it back together, or, perhaps, clearing out and building anew, will be a long and arduous one, but one that must be undertaken. More, 3 things learned as Bayern Munich hammer Barcelona 8-2. In part 1 of our in-depth look at Barcelona's path forward, we tackle the tricky question of whether or not Lionel Messi should, and will, leave the club for the betterment of his final few years in the game. Read part 1 first, because the entire discussion begins, and maybe even ends, with Messi. Which players do they keep? We'll start with who to keep, because the list will be much shorter than what comes next. In no particular order: Lionel Messi, if he wants to stay; Ansu Fati, Frenkie de Jong, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, Clement Lenglet, Sergi Roberto, Miralem Pjanic, because he's not even arrived at the club yet. Everyone else currently at the club, whether due to their age, subpar performances or cumbersome contracts, is potentially on the chopping block. De Jong has been something of a disappointment in his first season at the club, but there is more than enough reasonable doubt to believe the rest of the squad's failures have given him no platform upon which to build his own Barca career. It stands to reason that, should they put a functional team around him, De Jong could still live up to the expectations with which he arrived from Ajax. Fati has the look of a future best player in the world, though he's only 17, so there's still a long way to go before realizing that destiny. It would be a terrible crime against football for Barca to waste his talent and potential by failing to put a proper team around him. Ter Stegen 28, Lenglet 25, and Roberto 28, are all young enough to bridge the gap between the current team and whatever the Blaugrana look like 24 or 36 months down the road. You can't just get rid of everyone, after all.